Here we are at Ray Loggers this morning. And there's Ray. Thanks, Ray, for having us over.
Aloha, you.
Aloha. Thank you. We're really excited about taking a tour, although I pretty much know hands-on what you've got, but that's real kind of you to take the time and show us what you've done.
Well, showing people my garden is my favorite brand of fun, and it's sort of emblematic of a long-time love affair with tropical horticulture. So I'm delighted to have the opportunity to share.
Well, I know you spent a lot of time on this, in the design and the creation, and you put a lot of thought and travel and effort into this, and it's really showing. So we'll let you give us
Be happy to
the
show
tour.
you
All right.
Well, Hugh, the garden has really been a wonderful experience for me to create over the years. I've spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia looking at the very best tropical gardens on earth. They have all of them have a number of very unique features, but most of all, tropical gardens are layered. They're layered both vertically and horizontally, and in the very best gardens, they're also layered with what I call a dynamic diagonal flow of plant material. Here we are out in the front of the garden, and the story of the tropical garden really begins here. What I tried to do in creating this garden is to create a visual fabric, and the warp of the fabric are the vertical components. The palm trees here in the foreground, you can see the beautifully emerald green trunked betel nut trees from the Indo-Pacific. You can see the Australian tree ferns. We have bromeliads from South America, and the purple heart transdescantia is a native of Mexico, right, Hugh? The composition is anchored by boulders partially sunken in the ground, and the vertical layering here is 10 layers high. Plant material is also laid out along melodic lines. For instance, the diunes, these rather primordial-looking cycads, are laid out such like as if they were notes on a musical score, and they go up and down, and that's visually alluring to the human eye. The solitaire palms, these gray trunk, tall, rather elegant palms, are natives of Australia. They bend inward, beckoning you to come in. They embrace you as you walk through the gates, and the entire garden reveals itself in a step-by-step fashion, one surprise at a time. It's been a long time in coming. This garden actually, with regard to installation, took just 1 year to create, but the design took 4 or 5 years to put together, and it's very, very alluring to the eye because of the layering effect. Tropical gardens are unique in that fashion, in that they are very, very layered and dense. And I hope that as you go through, you get a better understanding of how a tropical garden is put together. Let's take a look. Here we are in the courtyard, and one of the most wonderful specimens that we have here takes center stage as you enter the courtyard. The beautiful red palm are known throughout the world as Chinese sealing wax palms, also called lipstick palms. The botanists call it Certostachys renda, and they are natives of the Malay Peninsula from Burma to Singapore. They are swamp plants. They normally grow around freshwater ponds that are close to the ocean. They're everybody's favorite palms because of their brilliant red crown shafts. Here we use them to advantage. We put a whole stand of red lipstick palms in, and they add a tremendous amount of color and certainly add drama when lit at night. Below them are a variety of bromeliads, all grown here on the Big Island, but they're all natives of South America, mostly Chile and Brazil. The rocks were placed a sort of harmonic balance between the hardscape and the softscape, between the boulders and the plants, the whole being much better than the sum of its parts. To the left you see the rarest plant in this garden of rare plants. It has no common name. It's known simply as Marjogeia darianii. It was found by an American botanist in a gulch in Madagascar called Marjogeia, hence its name. And it's a trunkless pleated palm that's quite rare and has a Jurassic Park-like look. And it's thriving here thanks to Hugh. This rare plant is delicate. It needs to be protected, as you can see, it's thriving. To our right here is a stand of Fijian palms, Pritchardia pacifica, and they have grown dramatically over the last couple of years under Hugh's tender loving care. They are a native of Fiji. There's always need for a little of man-made art in a garden to add some human counterpoint to Mother Nature's handiwork. Here, nestled amongst Kabadi palms, MacArthur palms, and a few solitaires, are Klong Miao drums from northern Thailand. These were created for a Buddhist monastery in a village called Chiang Shen in the Golden Triangle, where Burma, Laos, and northern Thailand all to come together on a bend in the Mekong River. They were created between 1857 and 1885. They're made of teak, and they're ceremonial drums that the Buddhist monks would use to call the village to prayer. And they take up a prime position here in the garden, and I find them particularly beautiful. Well, Hugh, as I studied tropical horticulture in Southeast Asia and looked at the very best tropical gardens, whether they be man-made or natural, they all shared one element in common, and that was the element of water. Water was served up in a variety of different ways. Soft water in the form of quiet ponds and reflecting pools. Moving water in the form of a babbling brook or a meandering stream that would animate an otherwise static array of plants and trees. And finally, the frequently encountered falling water. It's a waterfall that provides a sense of animation, a touch of mystery, and certainly produces a feeling of power and majesty in nature. The sound of falling water adds to a tropical garden acoustical perfume. I'm not a particular fan of long stretches of plain stucco, and so this not only animates the garden, but it hides the stucco visually. And then it's all softened by the Rhapis excelsa, the palms that you see on either side of it. This is the entry way to the house, and you walk across water to get there. Well, Hugh, here we are in the master bathroom. People often think of a garden as merely landscaping around a house, but here in Hawaii, emphasis is made on indoor-outdoor living. Most of the time, actually, we spend outdoors. But in order to blend the indoors with the outdoors, one of the contrivances in this particular house is bringing the garden indoors. The garden here is lush with a variety of different native ferns, such as kupu-kupu and palapalai. We have bromeliads outside, and we've brought the entire garden in to surround the bathtub. The bathtub was made in northern Turkey, especially for this bathroom. The bathtub is actually filled from the ceiling so that there's no hardware corrupting nature's beauty here around the bathtub. Let me show it to you. This is a bathroom that's lots of fun. I usually take a shower outdoors, but bathing here is great day or night, and certainly it is a wonderful experience and certainly very romantic. Well, Hugh, let's take a look at another favorite part of my garden. It's out back. We can talk a little bit about your role in keeping this place very, very beautiful. Well, Hugh, you know better than anyone that gardens are never really done. Here we are in one of my favorite parts of the garden with the large Asplenium nidus, the bird's nest ferns. And it's important for people to know that gardens are living things. Unfortunately, all living things die. And just because a garden is installed doesn't mean that it's going to live. And that's where you come in, Hugh. And I think it's very important that everyone understand that these beautiful plants, like all of us, are susceptible to disease. And they need to be cared for in that regard. They also have to be fed. And that's where the fertilization on a routine basis is critical.
That's also where those soil samples helped us so much. Understanding what exactly they needed.
Certainly. I think the soil sample was extremely helpful in informing how we amend the soil with the appropriate micronutrients to keep this all thriving. It's not just survival, it's thriving plant material that makes a garden beautiful. This wonderful bird's nest fern is a perfect example. I think that it's critical that the gardening professionals come often and stay late in order to create the effect that we all love. The garden here means a lot to me, Hugh, and I sincerely appreciate your help in making it a thing of beauty and joy forever.
It is a lot of fun taking care of this, and we certainly appreciate all your input and all your help. And you know, if all our customers were as helpful as you are, the world would be great.
Well, Hugh takes care of about 1,500 plants here in this garden, and because of his hard work, some people might call it a tropical garden. The old Hawaiians would call it Honuala'i, heaven on earth. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay. Thank you.